Welcome back, you guys. I'm EFC. This is Blue Line CV, and today I'm bringing you guys another news daily video. Now, for the big stories to focus on and talk about, I'm going to talk about Rhys James signing a new contract extension. I'm going to be speaking about the future of Moussa Dembélé. I'll be speaking about the future of Thomas Lemar, the latest surrounding Victor Moses, and to end things, I'll be speaking about Willian. But you guys, I'm going to move into the first story for today. And I want to talk about Rhys James signing his new 5-year contract extension last night. Now, we get into the first story for today, and it was a pretty big one. Last night, Rhys James signed a new 5-year contract worth $80,000 per week, tying his long-term future to the club. And I have to say, shout out and credit to Marina, to Petter, to the board, and just everyone behind the club that's finally made this reality of how we're using young players in the team now. I've been envisioning this for so many years. I never thought it was going to happen. Now I'm seeing these guys that I was watching just 2 years ago in the academy signing ridiculous contracts already. So it really just tells you how much the club are really behind these guys, how much they really support the guys as well. And I think now that the contract stuff is nearly out the way, we're only waiting for Tammy Abraham and Tariq. Once they sign their deals, we've got our long-term future fully committed. And once that happens, I think all these guys can just focus solely on their football. So it's great to see. But you guys, I am going to go to the interview released by the club, and we can start with the first question. It's going pretty well for you at the moment, Reece. And I don't know why I said Reece as if I'm actually speaking to him. Anyway, let me continue on. Being injured at the start of the season was tough, and then I slowly got back into it, and I was given my chance against Grimsby. Scoring on my debut was great, and ever since then, I haven't really looked back. We started talking about a new contract about 2 months ago when I started getting in the team and playing week in, week out. Everything has picked up. We go on. That's a very long-term contract you've just signed, la-di-da-di-la. I have been here nearly my whole life, and I would be happy to spend the rest of my career here. It is the club I have supported throughout, and I have committed long-term, and I mean, that's what you want to hear, you guys. It does remind me about something I said before in anticipation for the season, when it was looking like a very real possibility that a lot of young academy grads would be getting opportunities in the first team. I've said that these guys have been affiliated with the club since they were kids. They've won trophies for this club already for years now, throughout their young careers as well. They have that deep connection. And I've always thought that, if you're a player and you're playing for a club where it really means a lot to you, that's going to give you that mental edge. That's going to give you that mental X factor that could give you the edge of your opponents. And I think all these factors and things add up. It's professional football. Competition's always going to be high, and it's all about finding that right mental edge. So that's great to see. Anyway, you guys, we do continue on. Reece was asked about his time as a young player and if he felt any extra pressure playing in the first team, and typically, of course, Reece was saying no, I didn't feel any extra pressure. I just had to play my game and take everything as it comes and not look too far ahead. What does that tell us, you guys? Well, it tells us that he has supreme confidence in his game and his ability. He knows he's a great player. He knows what he can provide. He knows his strengths, and that's the confidence that you want to see in a young player starting to make his name. I've always felt with a lot of young players sometimes, do you have that confidence to express yourself and play your game? Ignore what the manager says. You can follow the manager's instructions, but can you play your game? Can you express yourself on the field? Normally that tells you when a young player is ready or not. With Reece, from literally the first second he came on, you knew that instantly this guy was going to be a very serious player. But anyway, you guys, let's continue on. And of course, Reece has been compared with David Beckham, naturally for the crosses, and I can understand that. I think that both him and Beckham had that dip in their cross, but it kind of like just dips last second. Unbelievable technique, a lot of top spin on the cross, and that dip that you create helps you beat your first man when you cross the ball. So that's great to see. Reece says David Beckham is a legend and probably one of the best crossers off the board that has ever been in world football. To be mentioned in the same sentence as his crossing is very good for me, but he did have many years and I have to respect what he did. I've only done it for a few games. A lot of people have said about it, but I need to maintain it and keep on improving. Again, this guy's very modest, very level-headed. He literally lets his football do the talking. That's what you want to see, you guys. He's not even going to gas up his own abilities. We know how incredible his crossing is. That last game really just highlighted that fact to a T. But anyway, we continue on, and it was interesting to know that when he was asked about if he's good at taking free kicks, Reece said that if there is a free kick and it's for me, I would not put it past me. It's a similar skill. It's not too much of a difference. So basically saying that if you can pass the ball, you can probably shoot a ball, you can probably cross a ball as well. It just gets me wondering and thinking about Marcos Alonso, because we know that this guy has a really good free kick. You know, his build-up passing it's okay, it's all right. But yeah, I mean, the fact that he can't cross the ball to save his life doesn't make any sense to me, you guys. But I want to focus on one more question here before we move on to the next story for the day. When asked if he was a right back now or could he see himself playing in midfield in the future, Reece said, "Where I play is down to the manager, but I am willing if he wants to play me in another position. I am happy playing right back, but no one has said that this is the only position I'm going to play in now." So what does this tell us about the future of Reece? Could we one day see him in midfield maybe? Maybe as he's getting older and his career is coming to an end. We saw something similar with Philipp Lahm back in the day. Now I've always kind of seen that similarity in that sense between Lahm and Rhys James. But you guys, it's great to know that Reece has committed his long-term future to the club. And on that point, we do move on to the second story for today. And that's in regards to LYON. Now, this is going to be a very quick story, but reports from France are suggesting that LYON could be close to signing a forward. Now, two forwards have been mentioned. Those forwards are Kevin Gamera from Valencia, and the other one is Toko Ekambi from Villarreal. And it looks like LYON are close to signing either one of these strikers in the January window. Now, this is quite interesting, because reports had come out too suggesting that we were going to wait until the final week of this window to fully assess players who are going to be available. And when you just hear it like that, it makes more sense. You know, if you're us, you want to sign a striker from LYON, you're going to wait for them to do their business first, pressure free, because you know that if you make it really known that you want Dembele, that's going to force the prices up for LYON to have to buy their strikers. So you're not going to get the player you want. Could this tell us that we could potentially get Moussa Dembélé in the window if we pay the right type of money? I'm not saying anything just yet, but let's see how things keep developing, you guys. It's looking quite interesting. If LYON get that striker, what's it going to say? Now, I know what you're thinking, of course, with Depay being out as well, LYON might just want extra backup anyway. Of course, but two strikers they're talking to, Gamero, Toko Ekambi. Let's say that we're paying 50 million to sign Moussa Dembélé. You can easily sign those two strikers and you've got money to blow in the next window. Let's see what happens, you guys. Now for the third story for today, we move on to the report coming out from the Daily Mail, and that's in regards to Simeone's latest press conference. Now, he basically admitted that it's looking very likely that Thomas Lemar could be made available in this window, and it really just boosts the claims even more that we're looking towards players in the final week of this window. As Simeone said, the facts speak for themselves. Better than words, it is certain that he has not been able to show all his qualities. Each time that he has been available, I have tried to play him. I have always been enthusiastic about his qualities as a player. He has not met the expectations set for him, but he has always had the same expectations. Today, who is it to know if he will stay or not? His reps are working hard. The clubs, they operate on what they need. Madrid over the past few seasons, a lot of times we've sold them players where we've allowed them to sign them on loan. Now, most times we have allowed Atletico Madrid to sign players from us on loan first before signing them on a permanent in the end. So in that sense, could we do a similar deal? I think we could, you guys. And the question is though, Thomas Lemar, could he be the option we need? Who knows? I think his characteristics would be a bit different because he's more of like a playmaker. And would Lampard want one of his wingers to have that playmaking-esque ability? Who knows, but you guys, that's what Simeone's saying. We now move on to the next story for the day. And at that point, you guys, we end things with the final story for today. And that's in regards to Victor Moses potentially making a reunion with Antonio Conte at Inter Milan. Now, right now, Inter Milan are currently in a predicament. They're currently doing a swap deal involving Politano and Spinazzola. Now, Politano would move to Roma. Spinazzola would move to Inter Milan, where he can play on the left, probably meaning that Inter Milan turn their attention away from Marcos Alonso. However, it's looking like there is a hold up in that deal because Politano isn't too sure about leaving Inter Milan, that are fighting to win the league, to sign for Roma. And This is the mad thing with these Serie A clubs. It's kind of like if you're a player, you are literally just a stat. You are disposable. The club will do whatever they need to do to satisfy their business needs, and whatever happens to you is down to you. I don't really like how they do it, but it is what it is, and it's looking like if that deal doesn't go through, well, Antonio Conte wants a wing back, and what better wing back to bring in than Victor Moses? Now, Victor is currently on loan at Fenerbahce. This season's going all right, hasn't played as many games, and of course, we know that he has experience playing as a wing back. Under Conte, I thought this guy was extremely underrated. One of the most underrated players this decade, was a great squad player to have played so many roles, and that season we won the league, it was him and Kyle Walker who were comfortably the best two wing-backs, full-backs in the league. Now, Victor Moses, his ability to keep the ball out wide, his defending, that partnership he had with Azpilicueta, that was why we were basically impenetrable to attack down that right hand side, and that's why teams would attack down the left hand side when Conte was around. So it really just tells you how much he brought to the team and his qualities. From Victor's point of view, it would be a good move for him to go to Inter Milan, potentially fight and try and win the league, and working with a better standard of player. You know, Moses is one of those guys that if he performs well, he could secure a new deal. And you know what? I think he's been pretty underrated. He's still a decent player, and good luck to his future, and let's see what happens. But now to end things, you guys, I want to talk about the latest surrounding Willian. Now, this is coming out from the Evening Standard via Duncan Castles, and it's come out that Willian isn't happy with the club's contract offer. Willian right now wants to sign a 2-year contract with a significant boost to his wages. At this moment in time, he's on 110k per week. Lampard wants him to commit his future to the club. Lampard values the experience he's brought, quality he's brought, and he feels that with such a young team, having a quality, experience, respected figure like Willian is only going to be good for the squads. Now, the report did state that the club even considered the possibility of maybe allowing Willian to leave this window. I guess that would have come down to whether we could sign attacking reinforcement, but would that really make too much sense now when Pulisic's injured? Pedro is not the same player he is, and we're already left with Hudson-Odoi. It wouldn't be the wisest thing to do. Now, I'm sure that it wouldn't be too hard for both parties to come to an understanding. With Willian and the club, it seems like the club don't want to commit to that 2-year contract. It's a bit harsh, but it has been a policy that we've shown that we can maybe deviate from when it suits us. But I think there's a simple solution to this. You know, if you're going to give a contract to Willian, give him higher wages, give him a 1-year contract, and have some clauses. You know, clauses save the day every single time. Give him a deal similar to Fernandinho. You know, once you meet certain clauses and requirements in your contract, you get an automatic 1-year extension. That's the best way to do it. And it seems like with Lampard really pushing for the player to sign and really putting a lot of pressure on the club by trying to get this thing done, well, it really sums up just how much he's valued, and it's been deserved, you guys. He's been very good this season. So far, probably his best season individually for us, and long may it continue. Boys, on that note, I'm going to end things, wrap things up, keep things moving. I was planning on doing a preview today. That most likely isn't going to happen, you guys. It's the Bay's birthday today. I've got a whole day planned, so it's a shame. I thought I had the time, but I literally have no time to edit it, you guys. So apologies for that, but you'll see me tomorrow. I'll be back, of course, in time, hopefully to do a live stream beforehand, the match review, the standard stuff. You guys know how to do it. But on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm LYON FC. This is Blue Lion CV. See you guys in a bit.